Hello, welcome to our channel. I would like to thank everyone who has been liking, watching, and also commenting on our videos. We will continue with chapter 2. So I've lived my life alone, without anyone that I could really talk to, until I had an accident with my plane in the desert of Sahara 6 years ago. Something was broken in my engine. As I had with me neither a mechanic or any passengers, I set to attempt the difficult repairs all alone. It was a question of life or death for me. I had scarcely enough drinking water to last a week. The first night, then, I went to sleep on the Sound, 1,000 miles from any habitation. I was more isolated than a shipwrecked sailor on a raft in the middle of the ocean. Thus, you can imagine my amazement at sunrise, when I was awakened by an odd little voice. It said, "If you could please, draw me a sheep." What? Draw me a sheep? I jumped to my feet, completely thunderstruck. I blinked my eyes hard. I looked carefully all around me, and I saw a most extraordinarily small person who stood there examining me with great seriousness. Here you may see the best portrait that later I was able to make of him, but my drawing is certainly very less charming than its model. That, however, is not my fault. The grown-ups discouraged me in my painter's career when I was 6 years old, and I never learned to draw anything except boas from the outside and boas from the inside. Now I stared at the southern aspiration with my eyes fairly starting out of my head in astonishment. Remember, I had crashed in the desert 1,000 miles from any inhabitation region, and yet my little man seemed neither to be straying uncertainly among the sands, nor to be fainting from fatigue or hunger, or thirst, or fear. Nothing about him gave any suggestion of a child lost in the middle of the desert, 1,000 miles away from any habitation. When at last I was able to speak, I said to him, "But what are you doing here?" And in answer he repeated very slowly, as if he was speaking of a matter of great consequence, "If you please, draw me a sheep." When a mystery is too overpowering, one dare not disobey. Absurd as it might seem, 1,000 miles away from any habitation, and in danger of death, I took out my pocket a sheet of paper and my fountain pen. But then I remembered how my studies had been concentrated on geography, history, arithmetic, and grammar. But I told the little chap, a little crossly too, that I did not know how to draw. He answered to me, "It doesn't matter, draw me a sheep." But I've never drawn a sheep, so I drew him one of the two pictures I draw so often, and that was of a boa snake from the outside. And I was astounded to hear the little fellow greet it with, "No, no, no. I did not want an elephant inside a boa snake. A boa snake is a very dangerous creature, and an elephant is very cumbersome. Where I live, everything is small. What I need is a sheep. Draw me a sheep." So then I made a drawing. He looked carefully at it, and then said, "No, this sheep is very sickly. Make me another." So I made another drawing. My friend smiled gently and indulgently. "You see yourself," he said. "This is not a sheep. This is a ram. It has horns." So then I did my drawing over once more, but it was rejected too, just like the others. "This one is too old. I want a sheep that will live a long time." By this time, my patience was exhausted, because I was in a hurry to start getting my engine apart, so I tossed off this drawing. And then I threw out an explanation with it. "This is only his box. The sheep you asked for is inside." I was very surprised to see a light break over the face of the young judge. "That's it. That's the way I wanted it. Did you see that this sheep will have a great deal of grass? Why? Because where I live, everything is very small. There will be certainly enough grass for him, I said. It is a very small sheep that I have given you. He bent over his head over the drawing. Not so small. Look! He has gone to sleep. And that is how I made the acquaintance of the little prince.